You told me if you left an empty canvas on the wall, you wouldn't need any paint for it, because you were born. And there's a woman somewhere that designed the wallpaper in the hotel off the interstate of Nevada, where you had your first nightmare on the way to Disneyland when you were 5. And you woke to stare at it for a couple of morning hours, but not ever at her, not ever knowing her. You grew up. And that famous artist, the one that fainted on the last brush stroke of the painting you examined on your first date in the museum on the east side of town, well, his palms were as clammy as yours as you reached over to hold your date's hand. You played guess which brush stroke was his last, which color took him by surprise, and if he needed it to fall down to finish this painting, to render it priceless. It made for a pretty good date. You fell in love. You left all your great sex in the soaked grass behind the carnival tent. The carousel horses, frozen, snarled, white faces, jealous of your hot breath, your painted face, your dirty fingernails, their hooves still pearls, never touching the ground. You aged. Your grandson inherited a hammer and a chisel from your late husband. He was a grave maker, and everyone could tell the year in which the deceased passed by how deep the chisel pressed. Just before he was dead, he couldn't carve the stones, but kissed them with a soon reluctant good night. You left. You left a blank canvas on your wall. You always wore white. You left on a bright morning. You looked back at your life. You told us you didn't need any paint for this. Please don't feed the squirrels. I cut my thumb on the brass hinge of my future former wife's coffin. I was waiting for the undertaker to say, "You bleed on it, you buy it." But before he could get a breath in, or even notice my discomfort, my wife yelled, "We'll take it." And she was in perfect health. The thing is, we were really only window shopping. We were eating ice cream cones in the showroom. We were on a Sunday night stroll. I asked him kindly where they kept the first aid kit in the mortuary, and he shook his head in irony. I shrugged my shoulders, losing blood. Meanwhile, my wife hopped into her coffin. She laid on her side and let the ice cream spill and dry in the rich white velour. And on our walk home, she told me when she got out, her new coffin smelled of vanilla and waffle cone. She told me she'd made it hers. She smiled. She told me, though, that I may have to bleed in it a little more in order to make it feel more like home.